Hello, everybody. This is Ryan Rude, and welcome to Rude Sports Talk. You can get the raw, uncensored, uncut analysis of today's and vintage sports, including pro wrestling. Today's episode, I will concentrate solely on Mr. Kyrie Irving, or should I call him Mr. Personal Day Irving. This is my issue with Kyrie Irving. On Monday, he missed his 16th game of the season, which if it was an injury or something like that, like KD or James Harden, I'd have no problem with it. Hell, to be honest with you, I have no problem with him taking a few personal games off because one thing I do agree with Kyrie Irving on is that mental health is not addressed enough. What in the hell mental health is he trying to address at this point? I don't like to downplay people's mental health issues, but the thing is, number one, they already caught him lying earlier in the season by what he went to one of Drake's parties or something in Toronto or whatever it was. So they already caught him lying. They caught him red-handed lying, and now once again he's missed his 16th game of the season. That's not a championship mentality. That's not a basketball commitment mentality. Now I'm personally starting to ask the question, and I don't agree with everything that Stephen A. Smith says, but I do agree with most of it, maybe like 70, 75%. So I agree with a lot of what he says, and I agree with him on this. And my thing is it time for Kyrie Irving to retire? Like, should he retire? Because the commitment to basketball is not there. And or if he's not going to retire, the team or the league needs to do something about the amount of games that Kyrie Irving is missing for personal reasons. Now, I don't know if something is going on with a family member of his or not. Now, with that, I can understand, but I don't feel that that athletes have to come publicly and tell all their business to fans and the media. But I do feel that now that fans are starting to get back into arenas and we're the ones who are also taking time out of our day or pay our hard earned money for our cable bill or internet bill or however you watch games to see a player of Kyrie Irving's caliber. So you need to come out to the media if something more serious is going on. You at least need to come out and say to the fans, address the fans, and say something other than personal day. Because this is coming off as laziness. This is coming off as bullshit. That's what it's coming off as. It's coming off as bullshit. Now, I made I made a podcast. One of my podcasts the other day was about load management, which you can check out on Rude Sports Talk on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Anchor, where I address load management. This is not load management. This is a load of crap. That's what this is, a load of crap. Because fans pay their hard-earned money to see the stars. Kyrie is a star, and he is not acting like one. I don't think he's the best, but he is up there with among the NBA's elite players, as with Kevin Durant, James Harden, LeBron, AD, Lillard, Steph, all of them. And I think I left a few out, but and I don't see those guys taking personal days. This personal day shit with Kyrie Irving is a slap in the face, not only to the present fans, not only to his teammates, but Every single basketball player who has ever played, I mean that. The fuck is a personal day? What in the hell is a personal day? You're getting paid millions of dollars. And I'm not saying that he has to shut up and dribble. That's not what this is about. I hate that term personally. But dribble, you can talk and dribble. You can eat and dribble. You can sleep and dribble. I don't give a damn what you do while you dribbling, as long as you dribble, because that's what you get paid to do. This is also kind of a slap in the face to everybody who goes on the job and works hard despite anything that's going on in their personal life as well. It's a slap in the face. The league just needs to do something about this because it's ridiculous. Um, they either the team needs to. I honestly, I think at this point, with 16 games missed, I think this is beyond a fine. You know, I think the Kevin Durant and Michael Rappaport incident was a fine at worst. I think a fine should be the worst penalty that KD should get in that situation. This is beyond a fine because you are missing games and not giving reasons why. And I know good and damn well some of his teammates are wondering the same thing. Kevin Durant, he's probably not going to comment on it publicly because he's too busy feuding with Shannon Sharp for whatever fuck reason. I don't understand today's NBA players, especially the caliber of KD and Irving, but Irving is worse. At least KD, we can understand why he missed his games. He had an Achilles injury a couple years ago, and he has a quote unquote hamstring injury now, which I think that hamstring injury is a whole hell of a lot worse than what he is putting on, but that's him. He is he is making a commitment to play. Was playing MVP basketball before he had to miss some games due to injury. So was James Harden playing MVP ball once he got to Brooklyn. Now I can sit up here and say all I want about how James Harden left Houston, but at least he was playing in the games. Now I'm sure his teammates wish he had not been playing in the games, but nonetheless he did his job. You know, at minimum he did his job. Kyrie is not doing his job. You will get paid millions of dollars to entertain and play basketball and compete. That's what you need to be doing, unless it's something more serious than you are putting on. I don't think Kevin Durant is saying how serious his stuff is. I think Kyrie is bullshitting, if you ask me. Because he, like I say, he hasn't given a reason why he needs these personal days. Everybody thought, and then I saw this stupid ass post on Facebook. I hope this was just a joke. Someone says, "Oh, he's fasting for Ramadan." He is not the only Muslim player to ever play in the NBA, and they still play games unless they were injured. So if he's fasting, he needs to fast while he's playing basketball. Hakeem Olajuwon did it. Abdul Rauf, I forgot his first name, formerly known as Chris Jackson, he did it when he converted. Like that's not an excuse. That's why I say I hope that Facebook post was just a joke because that's what this season is for Kyrie Irving, a joke. What is going on? But I will tell you another thing that I think this is about, and this is why I believe that the Brooklyn Nets went out and acquired James Harden is for an insurance policy because of shit like this. I also think that has something to do with Kyrie missing these games, one way or the other. Either, oh, we have James Harden. You know, I don't have to play every night. I can tend to my personal business. I can go party with Drake again. This time we could do it in California or something. Or it could be the case of he's jealous of James Harden. Even though he was missing games before James Harden got there, it might have pissed him off a little bit more. Who knows? Because James Harden is a better player than Kyrie. Always has been, I want to say. So, does that have anything to do with it? I'm not sure. But I've never seen in the history of the NBA, even Dennis Rodman, who was crazy as a road lizard, still played games. He might go to Vegas and party and do what he was doing, but he might have missed a few practices, and been late for shooting range, but he still did not miss games. Kyrie Irving is missing games. He has missed a little over almost a third of the games that the Nets have played this season. That is ridiculous for not being injured. And then he's missing these games here and there. So I think the league should take a step to bend Kyrie Irving. I would say I would come to Kyrie Irving if I'm Adam Silver or if I'm the New Jersey Nets for that matter. It doesn't matter who it is as long as something is done to say, hey man, if you don't have a doctor's note or legitimate reason or come clean about why you've been missing all these games, you are suspended for the rest of the season, including the NBA playoffs. Because I don't think, as much as I'm not a fan of KD, I'm not a fan of James Harden, I'm not a fan of the Brooklyn Nets, but it is not fair to those guys who are really trying their best to win a championship this year to have Kyrie Irving just play when he feels like playing and act as if nothing has happened. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all. So something needs to be done about this. And even if, because the way I look at it, even if they do suspend Kyrie for the rest of the season, including the playoffs, and I know Spencer Dim, and then that's another thing I think that plays a part in it too. They really don't need him. And that goes into James Harden. They really don't need Kyrie Irving to win the title. I mean, and now that I'm looking at it, there could be a reason why they went out and got LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin as more of an insurance policy. Maybe Brooklyn has something planned for Kyrie that he doesn't know about and that we don't know about. And I'm hoping that's the case because it's just not fair to other players on the team or fans that he is missing games just for the hell of it, just because he feels like it. You know, he had 9 months off. And granted, he spent about 4 or 5 of those months rehabbing from his injury last season, his shoulder, but he had 9 months off. There's still 4 months that where he was healthy and he had off to take care of these things. Even if he had took 2 weeks to get all this stuff straight, that would have been different as well. Okay, you missed 6 games, 7 games. That's about 2 weeks in the NBA. That's okay. I get over that. But constantly missing games throughout the season, and this is a playoff stretch, which granted doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot for the Brooklyn Nets because no teams in the bottom 4 through 8 or 4 through 10 with the play in, none of those teams are going to catch them towards the end of the season. So that's not going to be too big of a deal. But I don't think chemistry will be too big of a problem if he plays for the rest of the damn season. But I would give him one more chance and say, hey man, you can't miss any more games unless you're injured. Unless a doctor said that you shouldn't play, you gotta play. Or else you will be suspended for the rest of the season, including the playoffs. Because it's ridiculous. It's a slap in the face to the fans, it's a slap in the face to his teammates, and it's also a slap in the face to every player who's ever stepped on that hardwood and played, especially if they play injured or going through things. You know, Michael Jordan retired when his dad was assassinated. Okay, if you need a break from basketball, just take a break from basketball. No judgment on that because life is bigger than basketball. I get that. And Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan, I believe that was a few years ago, they came out about their mental issue. They didn't really have to, but they still were playing games. And I would have understood that more if they had missed games because they came out and said this to the media. They came out and spread awareness about it, which I really respect those two guys for that. You know, they they told people what was going on. Hey, this is what's going on. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that because we all have problems. Any athlete, any celebrity, we are all human at the end of the day. We have lives outside of our craft. But this is a shame. This is a low down, dirty shame. If King and Ivory Wayans ever makes a sequel to that movie, Kyrie Irving should be in it. You can call it Uncle Drew, the low down dirty shame, Uncle Drew 2. Because that's exactly what this is, a low down dirty shame. But please subscribe, please comment, please let me know your opinion of what's going on with Kyrie Irving, or should the league punish him for missing these games? Should they give him one more chance? Should he retire? And I'm serious with the retirement because I'm at that point with Kyrie Irving where I'm starting to question, should this man retire? But please hit that like button, please subscribe, please comment, follow me on Twitter. It will be in the description. I'm also on Anchor, as I mentioned, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public. I release episodes every morning about the NBA. Today's episode that I released on Spotify just so happened to be about the same thing, Kyrie Irving, but I have other episodes about different topics as well. And I will be doing different topics. Sometimes I'll do the same topic I do on Spotify as I do on YouTube. Sometimes it'll be different. But just please subscribe, please comment. Let me know what you think the league should do about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Personal Day Irving. But my name is Ryan Rue, and I'm going to holler at you.